We've been pushed recently in particular to make sure that people understand that when we say college and career, we don't mean college or career, right? And just last week, we put out a report called Making Career Readiness Count that suggests a range of indicators that could be used to assess how well schools and school systems are doing in preparing students to be, preparing students for careers. This has to do with whether they're enrolled in effective CTE programs. It has to do with whether they're engaged in internships and other kind of workplace activities. It has to do with what courses they take and how well they perform on a range of assessments. But it is very much designed to make sure that we don't split college and career as though they are two separate tracks. So that is, for us, part of keeping this agenda on track, but also part of making sure that we are helping to focus the K-12 system on the outcomes that are most needed. I think when it comes to research projects, when it comes to other kinds of performance tasks, I think what we're going to need to do is start to build those from the ground up. And there's no reason in the world why they can't be incorporated into local assessment systems and local accountability systems. In fact, I would argue better that way than to try to do it on an entire statewide basis all at once. Because I think we have a lot to learn how to do that, and even more to learn about how to do that at scale. And the more you push it to a larger scale, the more questions of the reliability of the scoring, the comparability of the scoring, all those things that you worry about are going to come to the fore sooner than I suspect we'd be prepared to do it. So I would look for districts to take on challenges like that, working on their own or with others. I would look for foundations to fund those kinds of activities. Among the strands of work that we're doing at Achieve is working with almost the identical network of states, is maybe a few that overlap there, who are interested from this perspective in figuring out how to shift from a time-based to a competency-based system. This has been the rhetoric of the standards movement for 30 years, except we've never really moved from it. I think we're in a position where we can actually make some progress on that, but it does require figuring out how to create performance assessments that can ultimately, have some reliability on a large scale, validity and reliability on a large scale. It does require figuring out what are the school and district level accountability questions that we want to ask and answer in a competency-based system. It cannot be what percentage of your fourth graders are proficient at the end of the year, because you don't care about that. What you care about is how individual students are making progress. It's a different kind of set of questions that will require a different set of metrics. So we are working at that. States are in the very early stages of taking those issues on, but I think, A, we want to be part of helping that, and B, if that doesn't happen, we will be stuck with the time-based system that we've got. One cautionary note I want to raise, both from our work on the competency-based issues, but also as we think about, Randy, some of the things you talked about in terms of educating kids to their own potential, letting them move where they want to go. We have standards for a reason, and that is to set a consistent and high floor of expectations so that what students are taught and what they learn is not a function of demographics or geography. So that has been an important part of the standards movement, and I think we've got to make sure we hold on to that.
So I would say, the greatest concern that the governors and business leaders that I deal with who are involved with Achieve, their greatest concern right now is keeping the reforms aimed at college and career readiness moving forward. They are, quite frankly, a little surprised at some of the pushback. They think Common Core they know that Common Core has been a state-led effort from the outset. They know that it reflects what states need to do in order to set the expectations right for their students. And they are very focused on making sure that the reforms associated with the Common Core or other college and career ready standards in their states move forward.